Hey guys, how you doing? Just doing another update. I'm gonna wait a few more, like a week or two, for the questions to come in a little bit more about the Q&A. So what we got going on here? I'm just gonna be cycling through some of my main characters from my vampire accounts, and talking to you about the new White Dwarf vampire accounts official update to the army book. As you see, this is my one of my vampires. I use her for my fight, like my fighty type vampire. Not my vampire countess, but just basic vampire with some fighting gear. I usually use this chick here as a necromancer or just another vampire for a larger list. And then I use her as my my vampire countess / lord, whatever you want to call it. I'm changing her in my list, definitely. With the new, with 8th edition, it comes down to the dice rolls, and like you can't really have a really good magic vampire list. Kitting your vampires out to have 15 power dice pool every round, dominating the magic phase. Just doesn't happen because it's 2d6 now, and you could get like a 1 and a 2 and have like a 3, and then your level 4 magic kitted out vampire, is like useless, and you sink like that many points into something that just doesn't get used. And so I changed my list up. She's going to be a lot more fighty now. I use her as a necromancer as well. Not really a vampire though. She doesn't look vampiric. She looks obviously necromantic with her cauldron there. And I use her for either a banshee or just a wraith, a Cairn wraith or whatever have you. Those are my awesome vampires there for you. All right, so what we got going on here? In the new White Dwarf, you got some cool stuff. We got, let's see what we got here, shall we? We have the cool, what's it called? We have the zombie dragon with the Lord on top. The kit itself can make also the Terrorgeist, which I think is hideously ugly. Not even like a cool ugly, like he's really cool and ugly to field, but like hideous, like it looks like Batman mutated or something. It just looks stupid. If I ever get one, I'm definitely just going to make him dragon and then magnetize the bottom of this part on the hero and take the hero head out and put a female vampire head in there, and just have this magnetized so he can come out and just count him as my Terrorgeist. Terrorgeist, per the rule, not so bad, but not so good either. Kind of in between. I would say maybe like it's a step up from like a Vargolf, and like a really step down from a zombie dragon. I think that's what they're trying to do, trying to get a little bit of a bigger monster type creature within the vampire accounts, kind of like the Sphinx and that spider thing from the Orcs and Goblins army list. We also have this guy. He's awesome. I gotta figure out how to get a list around him. I love this model. It's cool. He's like floating. It's almost like what's it called? Dementor from Harry Potter or whatever. It's like floating around, sucking souls. Very cool. Awesome Banshee. Definitely a good fluff / genre for my army, since my army is all females heroes. She's gonna do really cool in there. Plus, it's very dramatic, and it's really breaking away from the chubby, ugly-looking models that they have for all the females. Of course, she's undead, but still works. So, those are the 3 new models that they have. Am I missing anything from the models? I don't think no. Those are the 3 new models that they have. I think there's 3 types of Cairn wraiths you can choose from. I'm not sure, because they have different faces. One of them looks like a Necron face, which is kind of funny. But the biggest thing is that Cairn Wraiths and the Banshees now can be hero choices, which is really cool. So now you can actually slot them in units like skeletons or ghouls, and actually make those units actually scary without having to waste points in like a vampire, or a fragile necromancer, and having to worry about your necromancer getting into combat. You could put a Banshee next to your necromancer or something like that. That way, when they get charged, you don't have to always have to jump your necromancer out or whatever and worry about him getting picked off. He can just be in there, and the Banshee does her Banshee Howl. Plus, the Banshee Howl now is a lot better too. It's it's 2d6 plus 2 against the base leadership. So if you're going against like orcs and goblins, you're gonna be doing some massive damage. Higher things like elves will be a little harder. Yeah, pretty much higher leadership's gonna rock you no matter what. But still, the Cairn Wraiths themselves still pretty badass with their size and being ethereal and whatnot. But you have to remember that any unit that you're going to be jumping into is probably going to have a magic weapon or some kind of hero in it with a magic weapon, unless it's a magic user in there. So just be mindful on that. I got to be mindful because I'm going to be fielding them soon. So that's really cool. Zombie Dragon right out of the Codex. Same with the Lord. The Lord comes with some different types of helmets which look really stupid. They have little giant dragon bat ear things, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in Vampire Counts. It just doesn't look very scary. It makes them look very comical, and I really want them to realize that, but they'll never will because they think it's cool, and it's really not cool. So what do we got moving on? Terrorgeist. Let me get to the Terrorgeist. Terrorgeist can actually be upgraded with I believe a ghoul type dude on top of it. A Ghoul King on top of it. So Terrorgeist, pretty decent movement, crappy weapon skill, which is okay. Noblest skill, pretty good strength, really good toughness, really good wounds, okay initiative, really crappy attack values, and really horrible leadership. Like I said, Varghulf is probably right under what a Terrorgeist is. But it really comes down to its special rules. Death Shriek. It can actually fly, unlike poor Varghulf, who actually has wings but can't fly, which is stupid. Large target. Regenerate only on a 6+, so Varghulf even has a better regenerate on him. Terror, which is good, of course, you should have Terror, and then Undead. Death Shriek is pretty much the same thing as a Banshee Howl, except it is a 2d6 plus 4. So that's pretty good, actually. You can do that into combat, so not only is he like Thunder Stomping and whatever the hell he gets, and his normal attacks, he's Death Shrieking as well. So he's going to do massive amounts of damage. You can't really not fail with this guy unless you really bad rolls. Also his options upgrades, he got Infested, which is 10 points. I don't know if I should tell the point value, but someone else will have it. He's got Rancid Maw, so he's got 15 points for that. You either get sued or you don't for the point value. Upgrades, the Infested does, when he dies, he blows up. Really not creative, but it still works because the Skaven Abomination does the same thing, kind of. 3d6 strength 2 hits when it blows up. So the Rancid Maw, he's got poison attacks. That doesn't go into his Thunder Stomps though, which makes sense. But poison attacks. So auto wounding is pretty cool, but I mean he shouldn't not be strength 5 on him, so he's pretty good. So that's the upgrade. That's the new. Those are the upgrades for the Terrorgeist, but those are the new models. Looking pretty cool. I got to change my list around. I'm having horrible luck with rolling skeletons out. I'm going to do an all ghoul list. I'm looking at a Lord, a Vampire, a Banshee, a Cairn Wraith. What else? 29 man unit ghoul, 29 man unit ghoul, 29 man unit ghoul, 20 grave guard, and 2 Varghulfs. With the upgrades I didn't mention, comes to about 2092 or something like that, so I really got to figure out what I want to do. I really don't want to drop that Banshee just to get the auto, win on the point value. I got to tweak that list a little bit. But that should be pretty good. I've had really good luck with the Varghulfs being alive most of the battles and scaring off units or just doing a massive amount of damage. The only battle that I have right now up there is the Vampire Counts versus Ogre Kingdoms, in which the Varghulf actually just did really well. Just didn't get any wounds on the Varghulfs. But the problem is they're just kind of, because of the fact they don't fly or anything like that, they kind of whiff in that part. But they move pretty fast. It's just hard to maneuver sometimes. Alright, so that's the updates for you. Any comments, questions, feel free.